What's up, y'all? It's your boy, JC Desmond. Welcome to Love Over Narcissism. Went out to a Halloween salsa party, and that's kind of the theme for today's video as we talk about the mask, and please take the time to like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, as it will greatly help me out. And I really appreciate it. And thank you to everybody who has emailed me and has, contacted me through Facebook, through email, through Instagram. I really do appreciate it. So let's talk about that mask, right? Ain't it something? These people, they have, they don't have any real personality, so they have to constantly always put on a different personality depending on who they deal with. That's that mask that they have. That mask covers what's inside, So yesterday, I'm going out, to this Halloween party, and, I'm seeing all these beautiful people and everything put on masks and everything because, they're enjoying the festivities and everything. But, for a narcissist, this is who they are. These people have, when they were young, they have decided that they were going to put on a false identity to try to mesh with the world because they don't want to deal with who they are on the inside. They don't want to deal with their true selves because their true selves, they know for a fact, is unlovable. Their true selves are not worthy. They know this. So they feel like they have to keep this mask on at all times. But the thing is that it's a very tiring task to constantly always put up a fake persona. So sometimes they take the mask off because they need to rest. And when they rest from being this false self, that's when all the bullshit starts to come to light. And that's when they start doing things like, gaslighting, lying, projecting. You can see it. You can almost see when the mask is on and when the mask is off. Because me and my narc ex would go out in public and she would put this mask on and play this altruistic, self-righteous person who hated cursing, would get uncomfortable if the topic of sex came up, right? But then behind closed doors, she cursed all the time. She was always angry. Still very uncomfortable talking about sex, but then I found out that, she's had a lot of sexual partners and whatnot and everything. And that's not really the point. The point, what I'm trying to say is that you can kind of see when the mask is put on. It's like if you can actually physically see them taking a mask and putting it on when they go out in public. And then when they're in private, all bets are off. They don't care. Because they know that you've already started to see a certain side of them. You've ignored some of the red flags, so you have essentially accepted them for who they are, even though you don't like it, and at that point, they don't even care, So they'll take the mask off in front of you, but they still have to do gaslighting and projection so that they can still hide their true selves because they don't want you knowing that that's their true self. They want you thinking that it's you that's creating that monster in them. So they'll say things like, oh, you made me like this. Or my ex would tell me that her ex-narcissistic ex-boyfriend made her act this way, in this behavior. So no matter what, they don't truly show you their true selves because they know that if their true selves comes out, you wouldn't even be around. You won't stick around to see it. You won't put up with it. You won't deal with it. You'll leave. And if there's one thing that they can't stand and they're absolutely afraid of is rejection and abandonment. So they keep this mask on so that they can ensure that they are not abandoned or rejected by people. And that's why whenever you go no contact and they start smearing you, they start trying to make you seem like you're crazy. They talk bad about you. They tell people that you're the narcissist. And this way, people can focus on you and and then look at them and say, well, this person is a good person. This person is, she's sweet, she's nice. She, I say she because I'm just, I'm referencing my my experience. She does all these things to help people out and whatever. And then they look at you like, oh, he's the aggressive one. He's he's the one with the anger problems. He's the one with the issues. It's all to keep that mask on, because the moment that mask slips, it's lights out for them. It's curtains, and everybody will pretty much run for the hills when they see these type of people. And think about how tiresome it must be to wear this mask 24/7 all of their life. Now, in the case of my narcissistic ex, she's older. She's 51 years old. I'm 41. She's 51. And she keeps this mask on all the time. But she's kind of created so much drama in our social scene that everybody has pretty much figured out that she's not really that nice of a person. Now, a lot of people that watch this are part of our social scene, so they're now starting to realize that the disorder or the behavioral pattern, the pathology of the narcissism. But before, they were just like, is something wrong? Is she angry? Is she? But now they understand, like that this is a pattern. This is narcissistic behavior. So a lot of people are starting to stay away. And as a result of this, she hasn't come around at all, right? Now, this is in no way, shape, or form trying to pick at her, but this is probably the best reference I can come up with, because I've dealt with narcissistic people, but she's been the most recent that I've dealt with. And but you guys got to understand that, and some people will come to me and they'll be like, oh, well, they're narcissistic one day. My significant other is narcissistic one day, and then another day he or she is nice. They're not narcissistic one day and then nice the other. They are a narcissist. That is their behavioral patterns. That is their behavioral and personality disorder. Schizophrenic people can come off as calm because they don't have, their symptoms are not flaring up. They're not having an episode, but they're still schizophrenic. You understand? So a narcissistic person is not just narcissistic one time and then another time they're normal. Their narcissistic personality is normal. That's been their normal since they were a child, and they decided that they were no longer going to face their true selves or face their fears, and they were going to keep this false identity on for the rest of their lives just to get by. But understand something, that narcissistic people deal with a lot of heavy anxiety. They live their life in full scarcity where they're always seeking supply. They are depressed people, and sometimes they are even suicidal. And what I want you all to know is they keep this mask on because they have to. They have to keep this mask on, because if they lose that supply or lose the ability to get that supply, it could be the end for them. It could be over for them. It can be very damaging and give them a narcissistic injury and cause them to rage out, become violent, and become suicidal. Picture an animal that's out in the wild, and I've said this before, where a lion hunts and eats, and they eat as much food as they can in one shot because they never really know when they're going to get their next meal. It's not like food just pops up for them and they go and eat it. Sometimes they can go days, without eating or whatever, and they have to get the most they can now. This is how a narcissist thinks. They think with a scarcity mindset. They're not the confident people that you would think they are. They truly aren't. They are people that are running scared for their lives all the time. They never know when something bad's going to happen. They always feel like something bad's going to happen. And, they have low self-esteem. And they always need constant attention, adoration, adulation, affection, just to regulate themselves, because they don't know how to do it themselves. A narcissist cannot make themselves happy. And in fact, a narcissist isn't happy at all. So that mask is what gives them the ability to get this supply and keep getting the supply. Because if they didn't have that mask and they took it off and they threw it away and they showed people who they truly were, they would get no supply and then they would die. It's just that serious to them. And I was talking to one of my subscribers and now friend, you know, she's a sweetheart. Shout out to you, Sky Dream. I was saying that what we go through as victims is hard, right? But what they go through as disordered people is even harder. See, we have the advantage because while we feel the cognitive dissonance from the love bombing and everything and the trauma bond that has kept us addicted to these narcissists, we will eventually move on. We will eventually move forward and we will eventually forget about them. And the fact that we will move on and forget about them absolutely kills them. It bothers them to death because it means they can no longer get that supply. And the more supply that they lose from people and the more people reject them or go no contact, the more injury to their ego it causes. So when you go no contact, they'll stay ruminating over you and thinking about you for the rest of their lives. Now, mind you, it has nothing to do with you. So don't be too, you know, don't feel too flattered by this. It's not you per se, but it's whatever the fuel that you provided. And if it was good fuel, that's what they're missing. And that's what they will cry over. The rejection of somebody taking that fuel away from them. So they got to keep the mask on all the time. That mask is the only thing preventing them from dying. This is how bad the disorder is. So while we might be hurt from all the abuse that has been dealt to us, understand that the narcissist will hurt every day simply because they know who they are and they cannot be their true selves around people. They know people won't accept them. They know people won't love them. They know that they are unlovable. They cannot be saved. They're maladaptive. They can never change. They know this. No matter what kind of a show they put on for you, no matter how many times they put that mask in front of you, they know that they are not worthy. And they feel like they are unworthy. They really do feel it. Don't go by how they portray themselves to be this super smart, beautiful, altruistic, whatever they want to portray themselves as in front of you. Know that that mask that they put on is just to cover up what's really going on inside. And know that they know this, but they don't want to face it. That's why they put that mask on. They hold on tightly to that mask. They hold on real tight to that mask. You know, that's one of the reasons why if you call a narcissist out on something, the first thing they do is they either project or they say, I don't want to talk about it. You know what? I don't want to talk about it. And this is what my narcissistic ex would do. She did this with me. She did this with friends. Shout out to my boy Andrew, by the way, who was close friends with my ex-narc, who went through similar stuff with her as well. And shout out to a few other people, I'm not going to mention their names, who went through the same exact things. So just understand that why they keep this mask on. Understand that they know what they are. And when you educate yourself and really see them for what they are, for what they truly are, and not what they portray themselves to be to the world, you will get to the point where you will start to feel pity for these people. Because they're pitiful people and they live in shame every day. And they hate that shame. That shame eats at them every day. That's why they will do anything to try to get rid of that shame. Whether it's lying, cheating, stealing, hurting people, they do whatever they can because they feel like they have to. So I hope you guys got some clarity as to why they keep this mask on. They keep the mask on because unlike us and Halloween, When we put the mask on, we are essentially wearing the evil on the outside because it's fun. It's fun to, like, yesterday I went as like an evil jester and it looked really cool, and I'll post a picture. As soon as this video is finished, at the very end, I'll post a picture of it. But deep on the inside of that mask, and I take it off, you can tell that it's me. It's the fun guy who wants to go have a good time, make people laugh, and inspire people. Once I put that mask on, I play a character. Well, unfortunately for them, their character is the false self. If they act like they're good people and they're loving and they're kind, that's actually their alter ego. Because their true selves are what we all pretend to be for Halloween, but none of us actually want to be. No, none of us empathic people want to be demonic, evil people who want to hurt. If you're an empathic person, you want to help people. You want to create meaningful friendships and relationships. You don't want to screw people over for the sake of gaining a little bit of attention simply because you hate yourself. No. You love yourself, you know, and you want to create long-lasting friendships, meaningful connections, and everything. So when we go out for Halloween, we put on that mask and we have a little fun playing a character. Just understand that every day they put on a mask to hide who they truly are. This is your boy JC. Thank you everybody for the emails, the support, the donations. I really do appreciate it, and I thank everybody. And it really means a lot. You know, my heart is filled, my cup is filled. So thank you everybody. Just remember, as I always say, love yourself and respect yourself. Love over narcissism. Let's go.